Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps all over the galaxy. We are here today with a special episode of Best of the Best. And yes, you see this gentleman right here at the bottom. Yes, Joost, the mighty Joost from Jazzinc is here with me and Anthony today. And we're going to be talking some cool 1/6 scale vehicles. My guy, Joost, how are you doing today? How are you doing, sir?
Very good. Thank you very much. I was looking forward to this. So very happy to be here. Nice to meet you finally. We've shared a couple of messages back and forth. So it's very cool. Very nice of Anthony to join us. You know, always good to see you.
Long time no see, man. How you been?
Very good. Thank you so much. Yeah, just sorry for the wet hair. I rushed back from the gym. So it's, but I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. It's good to have you here. And likewise, finally to meet you. I know we shared some messages over the years. Think I drove you crazy for that cockpit. You and your wife just sending you guys messages and said, "Oh yeah, can I get it? When is it shipping? When is it shipping?" But when I finally got it in hand, I just got to tell you face to face or screen to screen, it was a wonderful piece, a wonderful experience unboxing. It's one of my favorite vehicles, honestly. So I mean,
thank you so much.
It's just it's anybody on the fence out there that is. Oh my God, it's such a great piece. And you know, we're here to talk about all the new stuff that you got coming out too. I mean, goodness. But before, we go into all that cool stuff, just wanted to for the people that don't know, that or new people, I mean, you're well known in the community, we all know that, but just in case some people don't know, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Jazzinc?
He's Darth Vader.
He found out yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm Joost. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a huge nerd. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Got beat up over that on the playground in the elementary school, and for bringing the Boba Fett figure to school. So yeah, and it was my Uncle Ben who really. Introduced me to all that, and he was really the first collector I ever met. I'm one of the few in the Netherlands. It's very rare. He was really all in on that Kenner line, and he had all of them, right? But he also had all the stuff you could get with the barcodes, like the Darth Vader cases and the guns. And so he slipped me some stuff every now and then. That was cool. And he was the first guy, and it was back early '80s, right? That had figures, bought them twice, one to keep mint in the box and the other to unbox. Nice. Now that was years before I heard that. So that's my father's brother. One of my big regrets is that he's not here to see this anymore, unfortunately. But so it was a random YouTube video back in 2014 that led me to the Comic-Con sideshow booth, and that showed me collectibles that I never knew were possible. Like in the Netherlands, that kind of stuff is not. So I went back and forth between quarter scale premium format and 6 scale figures. Finally landed on 6 scale figures because I like this always mixed media, and most importantly, you can repose them, right? So to freshen up the collection, and I mean, you can do some really dramatic poses with a statue, but that's it. So, and then it was on January 1st, because we were driving towards my little cousin's birthday, my nephew, and a friend of mine from the Dutch Collectors Group showed me a picture of a diorama, and I'm like, dude, that is cool. Right. So I was like, I always have a single project every year. That's my project for this year. I'm going to make a big diorama for my Star Wars collection. Hot Toys. Had just teased the first New Hope figures. I'm like, I'm ready for that, And so I built that and showed it off when it was done, and people freaked out over it. And can I buy it? Can I get it? And I said no a lot. And I think it was the 36th guy from France who asked me, and he said, why don't you do something like IKEA and have it flat backed, and that way you can actually ship it, because with a diorama you're shipping a lot of air, right?
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about stuff breaking. And I'm like, all right, let's give it a try. If we get 36, I think I was 12 people together, we can do it, right? And so we had 12 people in the first 24 hours. We ended up making 36 over the course of a year.
Wow.
And then people started asking for different stuff. I know that diorama was huge. It was like 4 foot wide, and people were like, dude, cool, but we need something smaller for like a Detolf, so we made that. And then for IKEA Stuvas, that might be something you have behind you.
Yep, right back here. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yep.
And so it's really a grassroots community-driven organization, and me and my dad do it because I had a day job until like 1.5 years ago, right? And so he was retired, so he could. I taught him everything. I taught him how to airbrush and weathering and everything, and he made those first dioramas with me, and. That enabled us to grow the company, and now my wife works for us since September. I got my boys in part-time because they're both in college.
Nice.
But it's so that's how it grew, and that's what we are. We are Jazzinc, the collectible collective, right? The community decides what we build, how we build, what details, what features, and then we do it.
And you guys do a wonderful job. And just to also add, beautiful family, by the way. Just beautiful family. See you guys all work together, come together. How your wife comes in and work, your boys, your dad works with you. It's a family. It's really a family business, and good family values and just great.
Yeah, that's fun. And it was that we had a cancer scare with my dad a couple of years ago. People in the group might remember. But the fact that he was able to come back and he's still working like every morning from 9 to 12. He's there 5 days a week, and he loves this kind of thing. When people talk about us, and he doesn't speak much English, but he just loves this kind of thing. So yeah, it's great. 75 years old, still going strong. Hope to be that fit when I'm that age.
Love it. That just reminds me of like even with my mom. My mom is 76 now. She's probably gonna kill me for throwing her age out. But she's a fangirl. She loves Star Wars. She loves Star Trek is her thing, and Star Wars. She was there in the 70s watching it, and she's a big fan of Anthony because he's X06.
I'm a big fan of her.
So she's all into it. So I can definitely relate having, your family involved and, into the fandom and stuff. It's just great. Just great. Also, before we continue, just want to say thank you guys for all the birthday wishes out there. You guys are amazing.
Yes, happy
birthday. Happy birthday.
It is birthday, yeah.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much. This is a big birthday present for me to have you guys on and do this stream with Joost here. This was like my biggest birthday present.
Very cool.
My second will be, I just found out that my DeLorean is coming from Sideshow, so that's going to be great. That's
cool.
Going to be great. But, as we talk about, vehicles, and that was a good little segue I did there. As we talk about vehicles, we're going to talk about this vehicle that you're that's up for pre-order now, and that is the Batmobile, the 1989 Batmobile, which looks amazing. But before we get into that, I know I got a couple of super chats. And
all right, cool.
So we'll go to this super chat right here. Hebrish
with big boobs.
He with big boobs. I love it, and I love the thumbnail. Dude, you can't go wrong with Nick Cage. Just swear. He said, "What up, Joost? Do you?" And this is for you. Said, Joost, do you plan on opening another poll for the future BBS Batwing? And I'm pretty confident that you will give us a Batfleck bike. Ooh, you want to address that, sir?
Sure. Yeah. So, we can do a poll for the Batwing, but since this has been up for pre-order for quite a long time, and we've only gotten like a few dozen, and that was it was below the minimum that Water required. I don't think it's viable for the future, especially with so much stuff that we still want to do, right? And even today or yesterday, somebody put a poll in my group, and the stuff that they mentioned, like Knight Rider kit, Jurassic Park, maybe James Bond, Mad Max is definitely on our radar, and that's because we got it's part of Warner Brothers Warner Brothers 100th anniversary this year. So for licensing purposes, it's quite interesting for us to look into that this year. And Mad Max is also one of those things that's been asked about so much, together with Kit, Knight Rider, and then of course all the other Batman stuff, some Star Wars stuff. So I could open the poll. He could open the poll in the group. You're always welcome to do that. I just don't see it working after giving it so long, such a long shot, and it didn't pan out.
There you go. Makes sense. Once again, she with big boobs said, "Thank you for the $2 extra $2." He said, "All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it one more time. She with big B." There we go. Love you guys.
Thanks, Roll to Crit.
Absolutely. He also rolled a crit right here. Says, Joost, can you please clarify the 19? We're gonna get into that. The 1989 photos on the pre-order page, actual shots of this model, or are those renders? So I'm confused. Also, how much of the final product is made by Jazz Fam personally?
Okay, so the 89 you're seeing now, that is a render of the current model that we have, the current state of the model that we have. And before we do, because we did a small prototype with that model, before we do the real full-size prototype, there's a couple of things I always want to do first. So the first thing, of course, is to show what we have to the community. The second thing is that we are still waiting, and this morning I got a message from Warner Brothers that I should hear more tomorrow. We're still waiting for the 3D models and the drawings of the stuff that they used for the Flash, which just to make sure that we didn't miss anything, because they did use a lot of the references of the original 1989 for that build. So we just want to make sure we incorporate that, and then put all of that in the model, get more community feedback. We have got a couple of eagle eyes looking at this stuff. We're going to do some more testing on the flip-flop paint. Yep. And then that is going to go to the second, hopefully final prototype in the end of Q2 that will lead us into production for the 1989. And so how much of the final product is made by Jazzinc family? It's too soon to tell right now. So usually we have supplier for the vehicles. We have suppliers in the USA, in the Netherlands, and in Asia. Most of that is in China. And then there are sub-assemblies that come to us, and then we either we assemble that or we do the paint. So it really depends on how the engineering goes and how we subdivide that in the supply chain. So how much of the final product is made? Yeah, and do you count my design time, the prototyping? I think it's a hard question to put into context, but you can be sure that we're talking close to 700 cars worldwide, and it's just the four of us. Yeah, it's huge for us. That 700 is huge for us. So
yeah, that's
we're going to need a lot of help from a lot of suppliers. That is the reality of it. But it's been that way for the 1966 as well, So.
So is that the average size batch for you guys? Like
no. 700 is a lot. 700 is a lot for us. Yeah. And that is, I mean, for most companies that is really not viable. I might have mentioned this in the past, but we approached companies that work for Prime One, that work for Blitzway, that work for Hot Toys, and they're always like, "Yeah, you know what? Come back when you have a minimum order guarantee of 5,000 pieces, which is usually like a factor 10 more than we usually make. So 500 is already a lot. So to give you an idea, we got the signature Zack Snyder version. We're only making 250 of each worldwide tops, right? And so, and then for I know for the DeLorean, even the second DeLorean, well, I've heard numbers that are north of 25,000, right?
Jeez.
So, and that is just a different type of business, The reason why we pull this off is because we have a very low cost operation. Like we have even me and my wife aren't on the payroll full time. My dad's not payroll. Nobody's on the payroll full time.
Gotcha.
And then we don't use, and we do everything, right? From design, prototyping, website, sales, marketing. We got people in our little team that can do everything. So we don't have to outsource that. We don't have to work with wholesalers, retailers that take up like another 25 to 30% of your margin, which is why we can say that like 75% of what you buy goes straight into that vehicle you buy. There's no right. So which normally for like the toy industry, that's like 5 to 10% of the physical materials and stuff go into what you buy, and the rest is marketing, distribution,
Right.
All that sort of thing. Which is also why we're not at cons, because that is also a 5 to 6 figure investment every year, right?
Yeah.
Which and all that has to be paid for one way or the other, and the only revenue stream all these companies have is you guys. So
Makes sense.
we just put it in the vehicles and the dioramas. That's just that's the reality. So I hope that kind of answers the question.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, wow, that was more than what I expected. And the thing about it is, with you saying that, and getting those numbers, I look at it like this. That's another kind of reason why you're paying for what you're paying. I mean, of course, you guys are a smaller company, and you have to pay for those materials, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the customer is getting a unique handmade piece, and I think that's what a lot of collectors in this community, especially newer ones, seem to don't realize. Is like when they compare it to like Hot Toys, and with what your company does, it's a unique piece. It's like handmade. This is like it's made for it's bought and made for. So it's like it's another thing.
Yeah. So and it's a fair question, right? I'm almost paying twice the price. What do I get for that? Yeah, and most of that is the limited edition, because we don't get those economies of scale you get when you can order for 25,000 pieces worth of materials. And I don't want to turn this into a how to run your company business lesson, but basically you have the fixed cost, which don't change if you make 500 or 1,000, right? And they change a little if you go to 10,000, because then in terms of molds, you need different metals that last longer. You need to harden them. You know what?
Yeah.
But that's fixed cost. And if you divide that by, in our case now, 700 units instead of 25,000 units, the amount that each customer has to pay for, if you have 25,000 people to spread the cost over, is just much lower. And then you get the huge purchasing power of 25,000 units. So, and then for the one that Hot Toys is now making, they already had the mold. So
exactly.
So it's understandable they can do it so much cheaper, even though they have to share their profits with retailers and Sideshow. Exactly. So I'm guessing they can make it 4 to 5 times cheaper per car than I can. Exactly. Basically.
No. And and that also kind of rolls into another question that we have, like the differences between your version and the Hot Toys version. Roll to Crit, thank you for such a wonderful question. That was awesome. Definitely. Also, we got 109 people in here, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Thank you so much.
That is cool.
Absolutely, being with us here in the afternoon. Well, afternoon for me. I think the morning for Mafia and evening for Joost.
Yeah,
early afternoon. I'm waking up still, but yeah.
So
it's 8:30 over here. So PM.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This is not my day just getting started or coming kind of to a close work wise. But yeah. So I wanted to bring up this real quick, and let's let me see how I can do this. I'll solo it for right now.
Cool.
So this is this is pretty much what Hot Toys is reissuing. I know there's rumors going around saying that it's going to be a little different, but right now for what they're showing, this is the one we got about 10 years ago, I want to say. And it looks good. It's a flex. Yeah. I've had it for 10 years. Well, I've had it actually. I got this one in 2019, and it looks good. It looks good. It looks good with the 1/6 scale, with the figures and everything like that. But outside, is it mostly plastic? Yes, it's pretty much all plastic. It looks good. But what is I guess what I want to ask you is what would be the biggest difference between this right here and your forthcoming product?
Right. So I don't want to bash Hot Toys in any way, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
that
if
is
anybody in the chat just want to know, we don't have to shit on something to lift up something else. We don't have to do
exactly
that.
because
work speaks by itself.
I mean, exactly, and that is an amazing piece for the price. That is what it is.
Absolutely.
Now, the difference. So there are going to be a couple of differences. So the main thing is size, and I heard from my moderator in the group, Derek Sizemore, that there's a lot of discussion going on about the size. Now, I have three sources. So there's first there's the group that came to me years ago when we did the first Batmobile. Can you please do the 1989, the one that Hot Toys made was too small? That was the going concern for everyone. I keep hearing now that they might have based it on the non-hero car or the stunt car or whatever. I don't know, right? I don't know what they based it on.
Was it 9? Because in the movies, was it 9 of these? Was it 9 Batmobiles produced for the movie or something like that? Like different states, one hero car, one for like effects and gags and stuff like that. Right. So
if you count the scale models, you don't get to 9 still, but close. So yeah, there's a lot of different cars, and one of those was then the donor car for the 1992, which is why the 1992 is slightly narrower. So there's a couple of differences, but if you look at the main hero car and the main pictures you're seeing, and what's most used in the movies, it's supposed to be longer. And people ask me about this. So we got, or somebody got in touch with us who bought the hero car for both the 1989 and the 1995 and a couple other cars. So
wow.
Yeah, and so we actually just went over it with the tape measure, and we have the exact dimensions, and they confirm what we're seeing here. Let me share the screen very quickly for a brief shot. Share screen 222. So if you look at this, can you see that? Let me zoom in. No, it shows up really fuzzy over on my screen.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Right? So
close up.
yeah. So if you look at that length and you divide it by 6, then you see the correct length confirmed with what we are saying, right?
There we go.
Wow. So, and like I said, we measured the hero car. People said that it was too short, and part of that is because Hot Toys and I agree mostly on the width and the height. So it's mostly the length. So which is why some people say that it looks a little bit stubby, which is true.
And I would say, I'll interject just one. Sorry to cut you off, but that was one thing when I pulled it. Mine didn't come in a box, but when I pulled the plastic off of it and I looked at it, and I was like, it's a little stubby. I just felt that way, and I was like, I remember thinking that when I opened it up and looking at some of the screenshots, looking at some of the materials you provided, and also looking at the movie. Especially this part right here looks a longer.
That part
from the canopy down here is longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like longer and it's like curved in a little bit too. It just looks.
Yeah, I'm looking at some pictures here to see if I can share one that will illustrate it best. But yeah, so basically the length. Yeah, the problem with these pictures is there's always going to be lens distortion anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe this maybe makes it a bit dramatic, but. This is the best I can find real quick.
They said front axle wheel is not far enough forward on the HT version. There you go.
Correct.
It is.
So, it looks quite a bit longer. Now, again, there's some lens distortion here because this is a wide-angle lens, but this is an actual screenshot from the movie. You see Vicky Vale and Batman running in the background. Mm-hmm. But it's just supposed to be longer, and you can see at least the hood part, right? The second thing you're seeing here is the nose cone. You see how it like drips down a little bit, droops down a little bit?
Yep.
That's another thing that we need to add. And there's a couple other things, but again, let's just not.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there too much.
Yeah.
I got a lot of pictures from people on the first day comparing the Hot Toys version with the actual screen used model, and we're incorporating all that. So what you're getting, extremely limited edition. It's going to be numbered. It's going to be signed with a limited edition plaque. It's going to be the correct length. It's going to fit the Hot Toys figure. There's going to be some sculpt differences to increase the accuracy. We're trying to add the flip-flop paint.
Yes.
And ours has a remote control for lights, sound, and smoke. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's going to have more features. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be much more limited edition, and it's going to be based. Well, let's just say it's going to be based on a different version, on the Hero version that you see in this picture right here. That's what we're basing our version on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That, I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, when you talk about like the smoke effects, and I know we brought it up before. We brought up like, I know people in the community. I think on Mafia stream a couple weeks back, we brought up the whole thing about a motorized canopy, and I know that would be amazing, but maybe not as practical, because gags in the movie translate into an actual multiple produced product probably won't work as well. But if you could, oh my god, if you could make that work, oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But
so we've been talking about to somebody who's done the or is working on a replica and who's got access to the original, and he said a lot of the replicas, even the 1-to-1 scales, have issues with that motorized canopy and everything fitting flush. Right. Plus, right now we're not at the numbers yet that we could do that. But
well, of course, everything that as we talked about, Joost, any additional changes is inevitably going to up the cost. Mm-hmm. So there's always that too, right? Because what do you have to do to ensure that you can do that? Well, maybe you need different types of tooling. You need more R&D involved. You need more parts involved, moving parts, more electronics.
And
like you said, Joost, right? No one gets a free lunch, right?
No, there's no such thing as a free lunch, indeed. Yeah. And what I need to get people to understand is, all right, so you guys are not really comfortable with the metric system, but are you? Do you have a feeling for when I say a millimeter? A millimeter is.
We're dumb Americans.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, we get it. No,
Okay. So imagine a millimeter, and somebody please in the chat say how much that is in inches, right? Now, on a car that is more than 1,000 millimeters in length, actually 110 or 1,100 millimeters in length. If you want something to be done so tightly that for the 700 times we have to repeat that, we cannot have a tolerance of more than a millimeter. We're talking about 0.1% of accuracy. Now that is some really, really tight tolerances. So that's I'm always thinking that, how do you keep that as small as possible? Because usually we're talking even less. We're talking a hundredth of that. So
exactly.
Yeah,
that's like really getting in the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah. But that's the reality, if you're building stuff like this.
No.
1 inch is 25 millimeters, so a 25th of an inch is the maximum tolerance we're talking about, and usually it's less on panel gaps and all that sort of thing. I don't know if that translates, but that's what it is, right?
No.
0.039 inches is what Hometown Hero is saying. So that's what we're talking about.
That is awesome. I mean, like when you're getting into the nitty gritty like that on it, I mean, I just think about the work and the R&D that goes on these things, and I'm like, this is where the money goes. This is what you're paying for. Yep. Figuring these things out and breaking them down and translating it to 1/6 scale. It's a lot of math involved, and I'm not the best in math.
and you got to build it so that because everything arrives fully built, painted, weathered, electronic. So everything, it's like, I don't remember if you remember as a kid building a model kit. That's a lot of work, remember? And we're doing that for this, but on a really high level, because that's what you would expect at that price. So that is the trick. That is the challenge. And how do you make that? And how do you make it so that you can actually build it? In this case, 700 times. I mean, that's not a lot for a collectible, but that's a lot for us, you know.
It definitely is. Anthony, did you have any questions for Joost you wanted to pull up?
Well, you did have a few super chats that you may have missed, but
crap! I did. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm so sorry.
I can't. I'm not co-hosting there,
so. So, want to give a shout out to my other brother, El Professor Mario. Thank you for the generous $20 bomb. That's going to help.
Happy birthday!
Hey, that's going to help with that down payment on the Batwing. So, thank you so much for that, brother. I totally appreciate that. Also, we got Fig Fate in the house. What's up with you? Fig Fate says, "Hey, Joost, I got 5 Batmobiles,
dude.
With you. Love your work." You said the JL Batman is close to selling out. What's the status on the BVS version?
Yeah, so I did a quick calculation. We're close to 70% on the BVS version. So yeah,
it's amazing. That's amazing. 5 Batmobiles.
Can I? Because I see Lord Dark Helmet asked how the length of a car affects the other parts of the design. Could you clarify what you mean by that? So, I mean, it changes the ratios. Like somebody said, the front wheel, the place of the front wheel, and the axle needs to change, and so overall, you're dealing with stiffness issues if you're making a unit that's 110 centimeters long. So is that what you're talking about? Because, it really affects a lot in that sense. Well, that's why we're using a metal skeleton. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rick Moranis himself.
I would think if it's so, for example, it's not just like magically longer, right?
No.
So what I mean by that is when you look at the front of the car, for example, right, the curvature is now going to be different.
Yeah.
Right. Because now it has more of a wider berth because it's longer in length versus how maybe the original Hot Toys version has a little bit of a snub nose, right? And what happens because of that? Well, then the whole aerodynamic of the vehicle is condensed. It alters it physically. So
it's going to change the lines.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And also we need to get if you let me see if I can find a head-on view of that car. Because another issue. So there's a side profile issue that we have to address where the Batwing. I'm calling them Batwings on the end.
Did someone say Batwing?
Right.
They need to be curved a little bit more, and getting that curve exactly right is very complex because if I look at the front, let's see. This doesn't really show it, but I don't want to take up too much time here. Here we go. Share screen. Here we go. Share.
Okay.
So here is seeing another shot of the car, and both the curve of the wing going back, but also front to back. That shouldn't be too much of a straight line, and you see that in a lot of the models.
Yeah.
And it needs to go in, then go out, and dip a little bit, and that is such. If you're sculpting like they did, right? So with clay, organic shapes are fine, but if you want to do that in a model in the computer, then dude, that is complex, right? So that's a very complex curve from all angles, because you can. If you haven't done 3D design, you probably don't know this, but you can have it bang on from the side, and then you turn it and you're off, and then you mess with that, and then the side profile looks wrong. So it's really hard to do that.
Amazing work.
Yeah, because it'll look kind of chunky. Right on one end. Well, on one side you're like, wow, that looks great, and then you turn it and you're like, okay, something's wrong here. He's looking a little thick, and you're not sure why. Because the other side looks great.
Yeah, I used to do a little bit of 3D rendering, like in Maya back in the day, and oh my god, it is not. You would think, oh, I build a skeleton, it is complicated.
And you're constantly chasing your tail. You're fixing something here, and it changes something there, and it's Anyway.
Absolutely. We also got a super chat from CT603, my good friend. How you doing, sir? Thank you for the $6.03 bomb. I appreciate it. Said, I need to decide on a snow speeder or on a snow speeder color. What are folks what are folks order more of, gray or orange stripe? That's a good question.
All right. That's a good question. I'm looking up the actual orders right now. The funny thing is, it used to be 50-50, but we've seen a huge shift, and it was the shift I was not expecting. Now, I'm going to give you a little context. So there's the gray version, so the gray accents and a couple of small things. That is the one that Luke flies, but most of the pictures you see and most of the images that the people have in their heads is of that snow speeder with the orange accent.
Yeah.
So which of those do you think has been ordered most?
Ooh, I think the orange stripe one.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, and that was the initial one that was ahead. But in recent months, we've sent out an email letting people know that we're closing the pre-order. So if you want to know what version you're getting, even if you've placed the order, you can change that up until the end of February. So next week, you have to know which version you're getting. Even if you placed the order a year ago, it's fine. We can change that, but we can't change it after February 28th. And so a lot of people use that. And right now, I would say 2/3 are getting the gray version, and only 1/3 are getting the orange version. Wow. I'm keeping the orange version for myself, by the way, because I like the way that looks. But
yeah, that little pop of color just is cool. It really just is cool.
That's the one I have in my head, even though I know Luke flies the gray one. That's the one I'm looking at.
That's when I think about it. I see it, like you said, in my mind's eye. I go to that orange one. So that's interesting. Yeah. A lot of people want it to be, historically accurate to, what they saw on screens, and having Luke in it. So that makes sense too.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you think about it, you're seeing more of the other the orange version flying around, so that's why people remember that, right? Looking anyway.
Exactly. And this guy brings up another good one. We got Nestor V. Thank you for the $10 bomb. He says, and I want to get to this too because I love that. I'm so sold on this piece, especially after the video yesterday. So regarding regarding the back wing, is there any way to display it hanging from the wall? Ooh, or a way you can hang it from the ceiling? I really want to order it, but not sure how or where to display. Love your work. I'm going to bring up the video real quick from yesterday.
Oh yeah, you could do that because I was going to show you pictures. I was already looking for the pictures to answer that, but please show the picture. So please show the video too. But is this what you're talking about? Because that is standard. This is Mike Stuhleberg, who was at a con for us last year. We got a really good deal. Didn't have to pay for the booth, so that's why we're there. Anyway, this is how you could hang it. You could hang it on from the ceiling, but then it would be upside down. We thought about adding hooks, but then that would be visible for everybody who didn't want to hang it from the ceiling, because you would have to make attachment points on the top of the vehicle, and I couldn't do it. As a collector, that looks wrong. Anyway, so yeah, you can mount it on the wall. And that's the way it takes up the least amount of space.
Absolutely. So. And that's the thing. Just sharing this video right here, and I'll pull the sound down on it. I mean, just this unboxing right here had me so hyped yesterday when I saw it. And I was looking at you guys stream, and I was just like, wow, this thing just looks amazing. And a lot of people, and one thing what I love about Yost, what I love about your company, you guys pay a lot of attention to the art box. I think that is a very important thing. And I know being part of the Facebook group, I know you've even set out some renders of art boxes to the community, like, hey, what do you think about this? I know you did that with the 69 Batmobile. And then looking at this art box right here, this actually was like, it just got me so excited to see this unboxed and see that classic logo, that classic Bat 89 logo. Like you said, I think you said you were 15. I was 8 when this was out. So I was just like, running around.
For me, that is still the coolest logo. That logo we have there, right there. That is beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. So when are these? So this is the so what we're looking at here. This is the sample, the final product sample, correct?
Well, not even a sample. This is actually one of the units.
Okay, so this is what we would be getting.
This is exactly what you'll be getting. Awesome. So we are actually. I said when you asked me when are you available, I said I can be available anytime except Friday because that's when we're shipping out that first batch. The first batch is going out in only 3 days. Am I right? Yeah, that's 3 days. 3 days from now. So next week you're going to see a lot of in-hand pictures of this bad boy for sure.
That is amazing. And when I saw it, just like what Nestor V was saying, I wanted it bad, but I was like, where am I going to put this? But then when I saw the picture of it being on the wall, I was like, you know what? It can be like just a big piece of wall art. And I can make that happen. I showed it to the wife and she was like, oh God, she was like, you got that in your head now? She was like, really? This is where we're going? I said, but it won't take up any space. She's like, it's on the wall.
It's like a 3D painting. Right?
Exactly. There you go. She was like, yeah, damn it. And then she looked at me and she was like, it is pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's all I needed. So yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be pulling the trigger on this one right here. Oh my God, it looks.
Can I address one thing, JB here? I might have said something yesterday that caused a bit of confusion. The Gatling gun barrel, it does not rotate.
I was going to ask that. Oh.
Yeah. So they showed that on their prototype. I would be very surprised if that's in their final product, if they even release that. But when we talk about rotating, we're talking about pivoting. So the angle pivoting on that single point so that you can aim. That's because that is original. So Warner Brothers can't force me to put in features. Right. That way, but they can ask me for accuracy. So you're seeing the Gatling gun now has one leg instead of two, which means it can pivot. That's what I was talking about. Rotate, pivot. Maybe it's not English. English is not my first language, so I'm sorry for the confusion. But yeah.
It looks good, and the wash, just like the wash on it, the paint. It looks to me. The airbrushing just looks phenomenal. Just looks screen accurate.
Thanks.
Everything.
Yeah.
Anthony, did you have any questions about this?
Well, I mean, we kind of covered it a little bit yesterday, but a lot actually. But no, not particularly. It looks great. It's we mentioned obviously that you have the included as you're showing here. You've got your template sheet, right? So if people want to go ahead and mount this to make sure that at the very least, right, to find the proper studs in your wall and things like that people may have to be aware of. But yeah, this is definitely something that I guess it's half and half, but I would say more than likely it's more suited to be wall mounted.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's such a wide footprint. I'm not like for me if I do decide to grab it, Joost, it would hang. It would hang. I'd put it over the couch or something. Like you said, because it is kind of like in that sense, there's really no footprint. It's like a 3D painting of sorts, right?
Yeah, right.
Nice on the wall, and no, it's awesome. It's awesome looking. I'm really considering it.
Cool. Yeah, I just was blown away seeing this. And it just does this also have the? I don't know if I saw it. Does it have like the little missiles on the side?
Yes.
Okay, it does have those. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you see, there's a couple of so there's little guns in the wings, then there's the missiles right behind the canopy, and then there's the things on the front. Yeah. So, but those are all of them there. Actually, I sent this video. So I was approached by two guys who worked on this thing back in '88, and one of them built that actual quarter scale model, and that was very nice. But the other guy did all the technical drawings and all the plans and all that, and he kind of flipped out over this video. So that is cool. And he said it's amazing the detail that we got right, the stuff that you don't even see. And like I said, I give credit to tested.com because we got a lot of detail from that.
Exactly. I remember when I saw that video, I think I went and I sent a video, like I put it in the group. I was like, "Yo, did you see this?" And the moderator's like, "We already seen it."
I got a lot of videos that day. And after being done cursing because we were so close to production, I was really thankful that we got it in time because we managed to pull out so much of that, you know.
I am curious though, so I just noticed, so you plug it into the wall. You turn it on. Is it just a basic on-off switch? Just turns everything on. There's like no other options.
Yeah. It's just the power and then it's on. You know. So
okay. Cool.
Everything.
It looks phenomenal. It looks, oh my God. Like I can watch. I can't even tell you how many times I watched this video yesterday. Just convincing myself like, you're going to do it. I got to pull it off. I mean, I have a bunch of vehicles coming. I was telling Anthony about this yesterday. I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about streamlining my collection and just having it vehicles and the figures, you know, and that's just, you know, and I mean,
it's hard. It's space is a thing too, right? Because I've got the DeLorean coming. I've got the Ecto one, Afterlife coming. I've got some version of the 89 coming, or both. Or both, maybe, right? So, you know, you got space is huge.
Yeah, I know, and you know, it's Anthony was a witness yesterday. I wasn't planning on it, but well, first of all, I put my money where my mouth is to support InArt with their awesome figure. So I got the all-in thing for the 2022 Batman yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And then I got I got Aragorn, and I hope to get that Joker 2-pack as well. So and I wasn't planning on that, but you know,
I'm sorry,
you are very much an enabler, Anthony. Very much.
Well, you know what? It goes both ways, bud. It goes both ways.
Exactly.
I hear you.
Right.
Yes, because when I saw this, you talking about enabled, I was just like. And I knew I always wanted it, but when I saw this and I was like, and then I went into the other room in the basement because I got two rooms. I got my collecting room right here, which is pretty much my office, and then I have the other room, which is like the lobby area. I have my gaming area out there, and I was looking. I was like, you know what? On this wall right here, above the TV, this could work. The only thing now is that wall that I have. You know, we're in the States, so it's a bunch of drywall. Like, and I think you and Anthony were talking about it yesterday. I mean, I have punched. I'm not a big guy at all, and I punched like holes. I'm like, damn, I didn't even think about it. Just it's like paper mache. So I would have to do like some reinforcements to get this. Because how much does this thing weigh? This is like what 30
pounds. Yeah. But I did get a message now from somebody who said if you, because he had also seen our stream, Anthony, if you get that center one on the wood.
Right, that's what I thought. And then just some stronger anchors, you know, some tough anchors from the hardware store for the sides.
Exactly. Nope. And then he said, and it probably won't punch through the drywall because we made the feet. It's not too small a surface so that it presses in. He was pretty confident that it would work. So
this is like hanging a TV, really.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I saw somebody in the chat say that he was planning on using a television arm to mount it horizontally. So maybe that might work too.
That could work, and then you can just swing it if you want
it out. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, and then there's other. Ever since we posted that video yesterday, there's a lot of guys who thought, "Oh, I got an idea." So I'm very curious to see what people do when they get it in hand. You know,
yeah. Amazing. I didn't even think of. Damn, that is cool. Because then you could just swing it. Ooh, I think I'm still in that idea. That's awesome. Also was awesome. We got just about 140 people in here hit that like button.
Oh man, that is cool.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. We're here with Joost and of course my brother 6Scale Mafia, Anthony. We are holding it down. Definitely. Want to also got this. We got Carlos here. What's up with you, Carlos?
Hey, cool, Carlos.
Place for collecting.
The Arkham Knight Batmobile.
Yes. Do we have any renders of that? Or
no? Well, I always show this picture first. Are we talking about this one? Because then,
well, there's the Arkham Asylum, the Arkham City, and the Arkham Knight. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Specifically asking for the third game. That one's more of a tankish style Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we talking about this one? Because if we're talking,
like it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's Arkham Knight.
So look at how many people stand beside that. Shit. That would be that thing would be as big as the Batwing, I think.
Yeah.
So we're talking in 6 scale. This is 5 feet easy. Which is where the problem's at, and the height. It would be like we're talking 40 centimeters. So what is that? I don't know, but 40 at least. And then the width is probably also 24 or 25 inches, I would say. Whew. Yeah, so that's huge. That's huge.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, yeah, that's going to be huge. That's like a tank. That's like that's like a mini bus.
Well, and that's pretty much how they designed it in there. So I mean, that would be.
So, I don't see this happening in 6 scale because this would shipping this. It wouldn't be possible with FedEx because it's beyond the FedEx limit for sure. And with the Batwing, we could be creative, right? Take the wings off, but I don't. Right. So I don't see the ship. So maybe in 12 scale, if the first 12 scale Kickstarter works, Q4 this year, you know.
Oh.
I don't see this happening. By the way, can I show one more thing?
Absolutely.
Hang on. Need to find this first. I saw this and I thought I want to show you guys this. So this is what one of the collectors did with our 6 scale BVS Batmobile. I had to share this. Check this out.
Oh wow. Damn.
That is a complete 6 scale diorama you see there with everything, the storefronts, the air conditioning units, the even the junk on the floor. It's
amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
And this is how right? Because you got these diorama pieces, you got these big vehicles and just building around it. You just really want to, build a world around it. And oh man, and just imagine that's 1/6.
Yeah.
That's 1/6 scale. That is
quite a lot. Quite a lot. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So to answer 6 scale here, will there be a 12 scale Batmobile in '89? That's what I was talking about when I'm saying we're first finishing our slate for the Batmobiles, and once the '89 Batmobile is in production, that means the '95 is in production. The 1966 has been done with production. The signature Batmobiles have been delivered. So then we're talking Q4. And then, I know I've said this before, but I'll explain it again. So the 12 scale thing is a bit of a chicken and the egg situation, a catch-22, if you will, because those people have very different price ranges, right? Yeah. Than what we're used to. And so we did a 12 scale Justice League and BVS Batmobile. We did that. But the price point of around $400 is just too much. So that really didn't work. So I'm thinking if I want to do this, we got to make something like that's very popular, like the 1989, and then try to hit the sweet spot, which I think is probably closer to $200, $250 for a really detailed and good vehicle. But to do that, I would have to make the calculations, but I'm thinking 2,000 to 3,000 units to get that quantity of scale, right? So if I put up the pre-orders and we get the normal amount of orders of like 300-400, then I could never make it happen. So that's what the Kickstarter comes in, right? We'll just calculate how much units we need to get to that price point. Then that's the minimum for Kickstarter. If we make that, cool, we'll make it. If not, then nobody is out money and we don't have to refund hundreds or thousands of orders or whatever, right? So that's the plan right now. The Kickstarter is Q4 of this year, when we've learned everything we can for the 1989, make that in 12 scale and see how that goes. If the 12 scale community rallies behind the stuff that they've been asking for, because I get daily requests for that, then we can do more of that. So that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, it's pretty much a put your money where your mouth is situation with that, which makes a lot of sense, especially, you know, we all know where the economy is right now. Things you know, things are getting kind of hard. And I know I wouldn't say a lot, but I know quite a few friends of mine, collector friends of mine, that have slowed down on their 1/6 scale collecting and actually kind of went back to 12 scale. So that would be a real good option, you know, to get those pieces in 12 scale and, you know, scale down, you know, scale back a little bit, especially on certain pieces. So I think that the Kickstarter is great. I mean, that's a great option to do. If they want it, you know, if they want it, it will be made. They'll speak with their wallets, and that's just what it comes to.
And credit what credit's due. Todd's Collectibles, Diorama by IC Customs is what I see. So there you go.
Awesome. Brian Thorne says, any news on the release of the 95 Batmobile?
Right. So we're Warner Brothers is dragging their feet on the latest of our models, which means I hope to have the final prototype done by April, after which we could start production. So that's still the same as the last time. I don't know if Brian knew this, but yeah. So we're hoping to have a final prototype by April and then start the tooling in May. That's where we're at for the 1995.
There we go. That sounds great. That's awesome.
So it is coming before the 89. So we start delivering end of this year, and the 1989 is scheduled for early next year. So yeah, it's first the 1995 that is closer to production than the 89.
Oh wow, I wasn't even aware of that. Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's guys are kicking them out. The product is coming out much faster. Definitely, that is awesome.
Yeah, and I see another interesting question, if it's okay to address.
Sure,
so Six Scale says, Joost, do you think it would affect you if Hot Toys drops a Patterson Batmobile because InArt are also staying there making one? So that is an interesting question for two reasons. So no, I'm not worried because, well, first of all, we haven't heard from either company in over a year on that. So
right.
I'm really not expecting them to drop it anymore. But if they did, we've learned from the 89 Batmobile where Hot Toys did drop it, and it was a net positive for us. That was amazing. So we did get not even a dozen cancellations. And even though when we did the live launch, I said, people, if you're even thinking about getting the Hot Toys one, please don't order. So close to a dozen people did anyway. They saw the Hot Toys one, they canceled, but a lot more people saw the Hot Toys one and ordered ours. So we were around 660, 670, especially with the cancellations, and now we're up, like I said, close to 700. So I don't think, especially since we expect to drop the Pattinson Batmobile in the summer, and even if those other companies announce, we already got more than enough pre-orders to make this. So the 1995 is coming. The 1989 is coming. The 2022 is coming. I don't see that as a problem. And if they show theirs, we've seen with the 1989, we're different makers making different stuff for different markets. So it's fine.
And that's the thing, I think, where, and I know me and Anthony would agree with me on this. We've been kind of saying this, like, I would say probably for a good part of a year now, that there's room.
Yeah.
There's room in the market for both of these products to exist. Your product is both Hot Toys. I don't want to say that Hot Toys isn't a high end product, because it is. We're talking about $700, $800. That's a high end product. That's a high end item.
And their work is amazing.
And their work is amazing. But there's also different tiers in even in high end. I mean, I always bring it to like fashion. I don't know why, because my wife is into fashion. But it's like you have Prada bags that are like $800 to $1,000 to $1,500, but then you have Hermes bags that are tens to $1,500s of or thousands of dollars. So you gotta, it's room. They're both high end, but it's just some people wanted something a little bit more extravagant, which I believe your Batmobile would be. A little bit more extravagant, a little bit, dare we say it, more accurate in the dimensions. You've already showed the work that you put in to get those dimensions. I mean, you actually have the actual props from the set and WB behind you with that. So they're different products for different types of collectors. Like, I'll be honest, I loving what I'm looking at with your 89 Batmobile, but I'm like, okay, do I want to do that? Or see, for me, I'm like, okay, well, I already have this Batmobile right here.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the one for me, but that Batwing sure is. So, you know what I'm saying? So there's room in the market for, for the people that already have an 89, they can get that. If they want something, like I said, to be a little bit more higher end, then it would go with that one. It's going to be two different products. So
and I said to Anthony too, right? Because Anthony doesn't have one yet, and he's still undecided. And I would totally understand if you said, I'm getting the Hot Toys one. There's plenty of people that because I also like to read the forums and see what's going on there to keep in touch with everyone. And there's guys that say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to see it, and nobody who's going to visit my collection is ever going to see the inaccuracies in the Hot Toys version, and it's half the price. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Totally right. And like you said, there's plenty of room for both. I would have expected a much bigger drop in our numbers when Hot Toys announced theirs. Turns out we sold more, so that proves to me that there's room for both, and it's a different product for a different kind of collector. Fine, great.
I have friends, people personally hit me up and was like, you know what, which one would you go with? And I'm like, well, I was like, I have one ready, but Joost that one looks good. And the individual that I was talking to, he's like, well, I don't have one. And you know what? 89 is my thing. I'm looking at the work that Joost put into it. I'm familiar with the company. I've seen a lot of Joost products from Jazzinc. I'm going with that one. And I'm like, and I told him, I said, I don't think you're going to go wrong. He was like, well, how was your experience with Jazzinc? I was like, every time I send Joost a message, and this was going back in 2020, maybe a day I would get a reply from you or from your wife or somebody. I would get,
usually
it was a great experience. That's what I'll say. It was a great experience. Yeah, if the wait, I was like, oh, I'm waiting, but good things come to those that wait. So, when I received it, I was like, first thing I said, my Millennium Falcon cockpit, the first thing I said was, this was well worth the wait. I love it.
Cool. So, that is so cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it really depends. It really depends on the customer at that point, where they're at financially, where, do they want to get that little extra? I know me, if I'm really crazy about something, or if it's really my jam, I kind of want the deluxe. I don't want to hold back, because I know me.
Yeah.
I'll try, but like, I'll just get the regular version, and then I'm like, I really wish I had that little extra, or I wish I had it. So you might as well go hard or go home. That's just how I feel about it. If you can swing it, if you can't, there's another option for you. So
Well, Anthony saw it happen real time and real fast, because I was like, I'm gonna get the InArt 2022 Batmobile, a Batman. And I was like, dude, $995. And I was like, oh, but the rooted hair, and you get 2 figures, and you get a bat signal. Damn, I'm getting that.
And then boom, it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. There's totally room. There's room for everything to peacefully coexist, right? Because there's 2 options for anybody. Like I had mentioned to you as well, Joost, I don't know yet, right? On one hand, space is a concern. On the other hand, it's cool to see stuff with even more features, right? So then you have to determine as a consumer, okay, well, you already clearly have interest in 89 Batman, right? Otherwise, this doesn't interest you, so then it's a moot point. So then you have to factor in, okay, how much do I love the 89 Batmobile, right? And it's not to say one is better or worse than the other, right? There's pros and cons on each, right? So then what do? Do you want to go with the more features, right? Because yours undoubtedly will have more features, or do you want one that's like just okay with what you're used to buying, right? If you're used to Hot Toys, and that's like, well, it's just the brand, right? Really, that's what it comes to. It's just preference at that point, right? So you have to factor in space, cost, and your preference, and then you make your own decision based off of that. You can listen to everybody, you can look at photos and videos of everything and different opinions, and then form your own from that, right? There's no wrong or right choice. Options are it's the whole Inart thing, right? When people are like, oh, Inart's this and this. Well, people still love Hot Toys. That's never going to stop. So you have options, and then options are good for everybody.
Yeah, and I love that you're able to just come out and say, Joost, I might go with the Hot Toys one, and I'm like, dude, that is fine.
I might. I mean, we're still buds, but I might. Because
totally.
Of, I don't know.
And I've got more than enough business that I don't need anybody who's on the fence. Please go with the Hot Toys one. Do that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. You don't need that. It's not about loyalty.
Exactly, and that's how I am. It's like I don't want to just be like, oh, Joost, yes, I'm gonna buy everything you make, and then just to say it because we're on YouTube or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not. Yeah. So it just depends.
No.
Now
so
you bring
everyone,
you bring me this TIE fighter, Joost. Do we got a deal?
Hey,
I'm just saying, right? Because I've got all the Star Wars stuff.
My friend collecting madness right here. That's his question. Can we still get a Jedi Starfighter? Or?
That is still very much on my brain. Yeah. Right after the Snowspeeder dudes. Absolutely. That is such a cool design. It's I'm very much original trilogy, but I really thought that was a cool design. Plus the size is doable, right? So So that's very much on the brain.
Awesome. You also got a $5 thank you from Calvin Low-Key Collector. My guy, what's up with you, brother? He says, hey guys, thank you all for these streams. Speaking of dioramas, how is the BBS Batcopter? Ooh, Batcopter coming along.
Back computer
coming along. Yeah. He said, hyped. I got Volt to go with Volt with it in the car. Wow.
Cool. Awesome. That is cool. Yeah. So April's going to be a big month because we will have something to show there too. In the physical prototyping as sphere, I mean. So where can I show this? As in, can I find it fast enough?
Take your time.
Yeah, maybe look at another chat or something while I look for this.
So we also got another $5 bomb from Carlos. Thank you so much, sir. Says TMNT van, mystery van, John Wick's Mustang. That's the Mark V Knight Rider. Real possibilities? Question mark.
So I don't see the first few. Like I said, if you're looking at what we can reasonably do, then we still got a couple of Batmobiles to do. We want to do the Mad Max thing. We want to do Knight Rider. Maybe, and if we go to Universal, we will have to talk about at least one other license. So that's most likely going to be Jurassic Park. The Mach 5 is something I'm really interested in doing, by the way, because that's a lot. That's what we've been asked a lot. Knight Rider is what we've been asked a lot. And then the DB5 from James Bond. So those would be those would be top of mind. And then, my 2024 is full up, maybe even beyond that. So people were saying, if you're looking at Universal, I think they mentioned Fast and the Furious there. And so maybe do the main car from the first movie there. I don't know. Like I said, Mad Max, Mach 5, Knight Rider, and James Bond would be high on my list. And then we've got the Jurassic Park. We got another Batman stuff coming. We got the... we've got the figures that we're talking about, which also answers the question I saw from Don, which is the figures you're starting first. So that will be Batman figures we're starting on first, most likely 1966, maybe 2022 figures that haven't been done yet, and like Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
All right, so let me see if I can pull up some pictures for you now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you do a kit, I will definitely I'll probably just pay all that all at once.
I'm interested in the Jurassic Park, though. Are you talking about the standard, the Jeep?
Yes, and maybe do some figures as well.
Wow, that would be interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Not gonna lie, I would probably like the Jeep.
Not the figures?
No, I think the figures would be really cool too, but just speaking in vehicle terms, right? Like
the Jeep. The Jeep is
really
number
cool.
one.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Jeep's just really cool in general, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely be interested in figures as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, okay, we got this up.
Yeah. Wow. So this is where we're at for part of the design of and the prototyping of the Batcave. I think that's a really cool design with that chair, with that. Those monitors in the back, then the desk. The thing we ran into is this. So the desk is slatted. How would you describe this? With the openings, but do you see how it
ventilated or something?
Yeah,
yeah.
Look at this, right? Look at this. So. So this is some of the issues that we were running into with the original design. So now we've got this design that we're working on, but then we're still working on. Let me see if I can show you that, because we want to be able to offer it like this. It's not the best picture, but it'll show you what I mean. This is the way we are planning on executing that. So you've only seen part of that diorama with the parts that I just showed you on the stream. But in the end, we're going to be making this where we're trying to make it like it's floating from the ceiling, like it is in the movie, right?
Oh, wow.
So you've got a ceiling, you've got a back wall, you've got a floor, and then you've got the whole diorama floating from that, right? So this is what we're looking at right now to see if that is viable for and then the materials, what we're looking at. So this is the re-engineered prototype we are looking at right now.
It's amazing.
So this one is really a head scratcher.
Wow.
Yeah, but this is that's what we're looking at. That's where we're at right now.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Goodness gracious. Yep. And I know we got some super chats real quick.
Cool.
Pull these up.
Let's go.
We got Hoff's home. I got Hoff's hometown hero. How you doing, brother? Good to have you here as always. Said, when can we expect another Star Wars diorama? And is there an idea of when? And would you ever make a Thanos copter? Copter?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
he did. He did.
Thanos.
He had a copter. Yeah. Back in the day. So it's hilarious.
All right.
Probably won't happen.
I had to look.
I
had to think about it for a minute. I was like, oh yeah, from the comic.
Right. No. So no, I don't think a Thanos the copter is in the cards. Another Star Wars diorama, most certainly. we are working on a true scale version of the aluminum Death Star light up diorama that we've done before, but in a true scale size, so larger. I've got the parts ready. I just need to find the time to paint and assemble them and to show them off for a prototype. So
you've got until Friday until the Batwing.
So basically twiddling my thumbs here. So yeah, probably. Yeah.
No. Very cool. Thank you so much for that. Also, we got y'all killing me with these names. 16D's nuts. Thank you for the $5 bomb. So, would you consider? You had me at Terminator 2. So would you consider doing a Terminator 2 motorcycle as in art, or Hot Toys maybe doing figures in the near future? It's a good question.
It's the first time. Maybe the second time I've had that question, so I don't see that happening. If I get my finger on the pulse of the community, which I try to do, then I know that that is not high on their list. Like I said, the Mach 5, the Jedi Starfighter, the DB5, the Jurassic Park, the Mad Max, and Knight Rider are all much higher on the list. So I don't think so. I'm sorry, I don't think so.
Gotcha. And I think if you look hard enough, there are some like 1/6 vehicles out there, like on Etsy or something like for motorcycles and stuff like that.
There is a motorcycle out there, but it's not cheap right now.
Is that the Fat Boy or something like that?
Yeah, because I kind of want one for my Terminator. I'm like, damn.
I have seen that. I don't know where it came from, but I've seen people with pictures of their Terminator DX. What is it? With 10, yeah. On the bike. So and as soon as there's an alternative, then it's even less interesting to us, you know.
Gotcha. Also, Johnny, thank you for the $5 bomb. He said, Joost, would you ever return to a project that was canceled if you were to receive enough backing in the future?
Well, I can only think of one. That's the BVS Batwing, and I like I said earlier in the stream, that we've given it so much and so much time. I really don't see that happening. Especially like I said, because you're now seeing a couple of requests. We get this daily, right? So we get so many requests. There's just so many cool ideas, so little time. So I don't think so. If we've given it a fair shot, we've given it a fair shot, and that's it, right?
No. Makes sense. We got Dirk Diggler's stunt double. Thank you for the $5 bomb. Said Joost, how does your customer? This is a good question. How does your customer support work if we receive the Batmobile and there are issues?
Well, just email us support@jazzincdioramas.com, and we'll address any issues that might pop up. And if it's a small thing, we can send a new part. If not, we set up a free exchange. We pay for shipping both ways. So
that's another good thing. And I'll just say that, as a customer, not, shilling or anything, but just my real customer experience. If you ever, if you had problems, or I think the only problem I had with my cockpit, I couldn't find the nameplate, and I was like, where's the nameplate? And I was like, can you guys send it to me again? And I can't remember. I think it was maybe your wife. And she was just like, it's in the address label. If you look at it, and I was like, I gotta go to storage and get the box. So the response time from you guys is great, and I just think that's another incentive to go with a smaller company, because you do have that luxury of you guys get back to people quick. I never was left hanging for more than maybe 24 hours.
I mean, our reputation is all we have, and it only takes one or two stories to blow up and really get blown out of proportion. I've seen that happen. So we really try. If you want to get in touch with us, email is always best, because we pride ourselves on getting within one business day. So if you send us an email on Friday, and please mind the time difference. So we got. The things I can't stand is people sending us messages on which is for us like a Friday night or a Saturday morning, and then getting messages with a lot of question marks on a Sunday, and I'm like, dude,
right?
Would Hot Toys respond? Would Sideshow? Does Hot Toys respond? I mean, come on, be realistic. But then, within one business day, we if you're emailing us, we respond. That's
try to consider business days. Exactly. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
And I work way too much, so I'm here on the evenings. I usually check stuff during the weekend, so this is basically a 7 days a week gig anyway. But my wife really gets on me to just, are you on social media again? And that if I do social media, it's Jazzinc. I don't have any other social media. Yep, sorry, put it away. I already live and breathe this stuff, so I try.
Need a little human time, a little. I totally get it. It's like that. It's like that with us being on YouTube. It's like, oh man, I just need a day.
yeah. Give me a day.
Give me a day. Definitely. We got SJC 360. Thank you for the $2 bomb. Says, any chance we could see the box art for the 2022? I'm guess he's talking about the Batmobile.
Batmobile, yeah. No, sorry, I don't have that yet. I don't have that yet. I can, and I'm not allowed to share the little things I have because of Warner Brothers needs to check that first. So I can't.
I can't show go that. Through.
Yeah,
approval and all that. It
makes sense. Yeah. Totally makes sense. Our good buddy, my brother here, Mario. He asked, "Is there a I'm kind of asking this too. I remember. Is there a 66 still available? Asking for a friend or two.
So here's the deal with the 66, right? So we are also shipping out the last. What is it? The last to final batch? Is that the word? So anyway, there's after the batch that's also shipping out end of this week, probably early next week. There's only one more batch coming, and that's coming in June, right? But I do, since we didn't have a lot of shipping damage, I do have extra units that we didn't need. So this is another question I get a lot. So, if anything ever happens and you're sold out of a product, how can I be sure that I get it? Well, that's what the wait list is for, right? We got. We make extras because of shipping damage and all that sort of thing. But we've learned so much on the shipping damage part is that for the 1966, I don't think we've had a single unit that was damaged through shipping, right?
Oh, wow.
So like irreparable damage and stuff like that. So we had like a little part that was broken. Then we sent a new part. That's fine. But that didn't take a full new vehicle exchange, right? So let me make a calculation real quick. So, so it's 2%. We only had to do 2% exchanges, and of course, we're ready for that. No, that's very normal, right? If you're running a business, so if you have like 2% exchanges, so we got some left. So get on the wait list, and there's good chance that you might be in that very final batch of June. And people are asking, is that an extra batch? No. So we're working in batches. So you got one edition size, and that's coming in batches, right? So. For the same is going to be true for the 1989 Batmobile. Like I said, right now we're at 700 units. That's not going to be done in one batch. That's probably more like 4 batches.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about. You got one edition in size, one run, and that's and we produce them in batches, manageable batches. And so the final batch is delivered. Everybody who's ordered one. Last year has gotten theirs, and so now we're working on the people who ordered this year, and they're getting that in June, right before the pre-orders close. No, that's not true. We closed them end of last year, so yeah, and so put your name on the wait list, and I might have some good news for you.
That sounds awesome. I'll tell you, that one right there, I had to stop myself because I was like, it's like Anthony. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have 2 DeLoreans, an Ecto 1. Now we talking about a Batwing. And oh god, I was like the 66, and
I
black
still want
and red
the 66. I'm not gonna lie, I still want it.
I still really want it because I have those figures, and they look. It just looks so good. It's so damn iconic. It's like, damn it. Yeah. Like, can't we?
And a bloody nightmare to make. I can tell you that.
Oh my god, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I really just want the 66 to 89 in the Batman Forever.
Right.
That's all I care about. Like really, those three I think would be. Yeah, that's it. And then a DeLorean that I have hopefully this week or two, and then the Ecto one.
Yeah.
That's a garage.
Yeah.
What's this garage?
Well, I must say, especially now with the like I said, I ordered the NR 2022 figures yesterday. That because I want my personal 2022 version is going to be the weather one because I really love that. I've been picturing that all day, with the two figures. So yeah, I'm really.
Oh, that's going to look awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So
absolutely. Good friend Ty asked, I think we talked about this earlier. Asked were there any more pictures of the '89 Batmobile? Not at this time, right? We're still in the production.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'll boot up my model and see if I can show you where we're at. Well, and then
is the '89 first or the '95?
95 is first. 95, we're so close. We got a couple of minor tweaks that we did to the model after some more community feedback, and that is resting with Warner Brothers. And every step of the way they have to approve it, right? So that's what's taking so long. Yeah. Then we got the we work that into a prototype, and then we go into production. So the 95 is ahead of the 1989. I do expect us to deliver the first units of the 1995 this year.
Wow.
So
this year. Okay.
Yeah. So we got the 1966, and then the Batwing, then the 2022, then the signature version of the BVS and Justice League version signed by Zack Snyder. Then the 1995, and then next year is the 1989, early next year. So that we're talking about 5 different Batmobiles and the Batwing coming this year, right?
That's amazing.
So, yeah,
that's amazing. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Wow.
And then the 95 will it be all lit up as well?
Yeah. The blue lights. Yeah.
That would be phenomenal.
You can't not do that.
And it's funny, like as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, that one looks so toyish." But then thinking about it, and like with it lit up like that, how you guys do lights, oh my god, that's gonna be a hell of a display piece right there.
Right.
That looks great. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking for what I can show of the model, and if you could maybe do a super chat or something in the meantime.
I have one question. Come
on, guys! Someone send a super chat so we can discuss it.
Or just any.
We're out. We're burnt out of super chats.
No, any chance you will tackle the 1966 Batman and Robin figures? Yes, we are definitely looking into that. I might have addressed this before, but. We're looking at doing a double pack Bruce Wayne.
That's gonna be nice.
With the 66 Batmobile, and then Robin Dick Grayson is the name. All right, so let me share your screen, show you the details we have so far, and really no, this is a work in progress, right? So this isn't definitely far from being done, which is why I'm loath to share.
Calvin brings up a good question. He says, will the 8995, will it be a battery or a USB? I'll just say USB, right?
Maybe for the 9095, it might be a power adapter because I liked how that worked for the Batwing and the 1966. I really don't like batteries, so we have to do batteries for the 2022 because that might. We're still working on an optional remote control version. Yeah. But the rest is going to be wired. So I try to stay away from batteries as much as possible because that's what I like as a collector. I don't like batteries because they leak and you don't use them after the first time, right?
Wow. Yep. Makes sense. Oh my goodness, this was heavy-handed. Hollywood Jedi. Thank you for the $50.
Dude,
for the $50 bomb.
Very awesome.
Happy birthday. Let's discuss what.
Right.
Anything, I guess. I don't know.
All right, but so are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is where we're at the model or so far, right? So you're seeing the longer nose already. So what we're still working on with 3D modeling, you have to just completely redesign it. So right now it's dipping a bit too low here, but we got the front axle moving forward a lot more. We've got this curve going down a little bit better. We need a little bit more of that here too. We already got the nose cone correct, right? So with the dropping of the nose cone, correct. This is going to be deeper, like because that's not deep enough, even in this version, let alone the other version. And we're working on a mesh behind this, and we got the bigger windows that needed to be done. Oh, you see the separate canopy, right? And then you've got the so the side. I'm quite happy with the side pod thing here, so that's pretty accurate, I think.
That looks great. And I'm just looking at the curve, like the curve how it goes right there, where the Hot Toys was real kind of straight, but you guys had that dip in the curve, like almost like a sports car. Because I know this was built off like I forget what sports car was kind of like base build off of. I know some of those lights, something I was reading back in the day. Anyway, I'm just talking.
So another thing is that this needs, so that shell, that rear shell, that needs to be very close to the turbine, right? There needs to be very little to no gap. Then these need to move outward so that this shouldn't be a straight line, right? And then this needs see, you see that curve we're talking about here. So and that roof line shouldn't be too squared off, right? So I'm pretty happy with those basic things. This needs to be quite a thick wing, right? So that's good. But like I said, very much a work in progress. And I can't show you beyond this just yet. But it's going to be better than this. Definitely better than this. But you're already seeing the correct length of stuff. You're seeing the
correct proportion,
the correct nose cone. You're seeing the correct. Let's see, if you're looking at the front, these lines are now correct. They shouldn't go in too far, right? The windows need to be bigger. The rear shell needs to be close to the engine, et cetera, right? So this is these. I'm happy with these lines. They need to go out wider. So yeah, there's a lot that's good right now.
Looks amazing. And I mean, for a car looks like this. Just looking at these models and stuff, I can see how hard it is to capture this thing, because in some areas it's very narrow, but then get wide in other areas. It's phenomenal design. And thank you, Collector's Entity. You said it was based off a Corvette Stingray. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Also, we got FBJ with the $2 bomb. He said Flashpoint vehicles. Question: alternate 89 Batmobiles? Maybe, possibility.
I don't plan to do that, because people ask me, are you going to do a 1992 later? I don't think so, really. No, I don't think so. So because for the 1992, there needs to be, it's really a different mold, because they didn't use the hero vehicle. Like I said, it's narrower, and so and there's a couple other reasons. So I don't see any alternate 1989 versions coming.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. Oh my goodness. I think that's about all I got for today, guys. You guys have anything else you wanted to Joost, have anything else you wanted to talk about? Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars, TIE Fighter, scale, all that good stuff. I got a poke. I got a poke for the Star Wars guys.
I've shown you in the past, but for the people who missed that, let me show you what I got for the TIE Fighter. Let's see.
Is this still something that's actually happening?
Wow.
We're just still undecided.
Yeah, the problem is I still haven't figured out how to fix this. So some more pictures. Do I have one with, yeah.
Right. Diggler's Undouble. I think we may have talked about this already. He said, thank you for the $5 bomb. He said, are you using different materials on the body of the 89 Batmobile versus the Hot Toys?
Possibly, but it's too soon to tell what we're going to do, because if we can do the motorized canopy, and we do get more orders, which it does look likely that we can, then we might be looking into doing some small die-cast parts, like that side pod or something like that. So then, and there's always going to be a metal frame inside. We're going to be using metal axles and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot that's still up in the air. But there's definitely going to be quite a few metal parts already on the interior. So let's satisfy the Star Wars boys.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is what I have
Lord.
for my. This is the TIE Interceptor that I have. It's ready. It's detailed. It's ready to go. Right. But look at that compared to a 6-scale Hot Toys figure.
Jeez. Goodness.
Right.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely awesome. One of the beautiful things. Is I didn't even know how much detail there was. Look at that, right? How much detail there is on these things, on these designs. These guys did such an amazing job back then. Yes. Anyway, but this, and it's not that high, but what people don't know is that front to back, on the wings, that's longer than a TIE Fighter wing is high. So here you see a TIE Fighter with a 6-scale figure, and again, look at that huge size, right?
Jeez.
But the height that you're seeing now is less than the length of this. So we're talking massive pieces, and then the tolerances and keeping that straight over such long distances as a material, and how do you ship that? So that's just the problem, right? And so we've talked about these panels, maybe like doing these panels separately, because you got 4 of these panels, and then you've got 8 of these panels, and then finding a way to but then the people would have to do a lot of assembly, right? You'd have to make that edge around, and then these pieces, and that needs to go into the wing. But so then it's easier to ship and manufacture, but how do you get that done, and how do you make it so that people can assemble this and it still look clean like that? I haven't figured it out yet. That's basically
a lot of engineering and tooling to make that work.
And look at all that detailing, right? Look at all this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I did a design like this where I just did the cockpit, right? On separate stands. Because if you look with a figure there, now this is a size that might work, but I don't think there's enough people for this to make that work.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, because like I told you last time, this is, but this is more feasible, I think, for collectors.
Yeah.
Right. And then at a later date, you could always offer the wings.
Yeah, that's
as a
true.
separate add-on, right? That if they wanted to buy.
It's like a build as you go. Yep.
Yeah, after the Jedi Starfighter, this would be the next step for me to maybe just put this in a poll in the group after the Jedi Starfighter. How many people would want just the cockpit, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
And then, and maybe do an X-wing cockpit. That's also then maybe give them the choice. Do you want a cockpit for the X-wing cockpit, or do you want the TIE Fighter cockpit, and just see what the group can do?
Because this is really cool. Like you can see some people in chat are like, "Yeah, I'm cool," because the wings, right? It is cool, but it's again, it's another. Well, I would say it's like a Batwing situation, but kind of worse. Because the Batwings
you can't
flat,
put that on the wall because those
right. Like, where are you going to put that? Some people will find it, but the majority,
if you have a high
I think,
ceiling, you can hang it.
Well, with the acrylic, stands, that just the cockpit area with the sidearms is enough to put on a shelf, just like that. And that conveys exactly what it's trying to convey in a collection, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. So, but this is what I have for that. And then we have the X-wing cockpit idea. I had two more other ideas for Star Wars. So so not only my two sons work for me, but a friend of my eldest son also works for me, and he's designing the medical table that Darth Vader gets built on at the end of Episode 3. So
wow.
He thought that was the coolest thing ever, so we might do that. So let's see. And another thing we designed, right, so this is another thing that's been in the works for a while. Here you see. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I need that.
But this is big. This is big, guys. This is close to 4 feet high.
I need it.
And it's still work in progress. There's still a lot of greeblies to do and more of the interior. And
I see Han just outside blasting with. Yeah. Oh no, I need that, sir. Oh yeah,
that's pretty.
That's. I don't know where that. Oh god, wife's gonna kill me. But that has to come on. If you make it, I will buy. I'm sorry, I gotta find that. Yeah.
But there's just there's a lot. I mean, look at this. There's a lot of stuff I'm working on. I have been working on. It's but this is also something that I might try. After the Snowspeeder. So still plenty of Star Wars love for me. That's still my first love, right?
Nope.
But yeah.
He, she, big boobs. Thank you for the $2 bomb. Backcrawler with ZSJL since Batman BVS Batman was a failure.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think that. It's just we've seen that with the exception of their Batmobiles from that movie, the Batwing the Bat computer is right at the edge of the minimum that Warner Brothers requires. So if too many people cancel, there's a problem there. So, I don't see there being enough people.
No. Absolutely.
So I want to give a shout out to my fellow Dutchie. I saw that in the chat.
Let Jay read it. Let Jay read it.
Yeah, I was like, thank you for the $6 bomb, but I'm not even going to try. Hot toys. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So there's a Dutch version of eBay called Marktplaats, and I bought a bunch of hot toys from him. Like I said, I'm a collector first, right? So that was cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. Goodness gracious. Also, Eric Hinky, how you doing for the $2 bomb? He said, take some Clone Wars vehicles. Yeah, I know a lot of people love Clone Wars out there. Definitely. You think we can get anything from you guys? Anything in the plans?
No, I don't have anything planned. So yeah. I would say after the X-Wing cockpit, after we try attempting anything remotely close to this TIE fighter. I mean, look at this. I've got a 32-core model computer with 384 gigs of RAM and a 20 teraflop graphics card. And it is brought to its knees by this model, guys.
Jesus.
Oh, I bet.
Look at that. Look at all that detail, though. That is so cool. I really, really wish I could make this, but look at that. Look at all that.
If you build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will come. They will definitely come. Looking at people in the chat saying, please. Goodness gracious.
Anyway.
That's a good one. And speaking Pod Racer, okay, yeah.
I could see that. The Pod Racer, I could see that. Yeah. N1 Starfighter. If Hot Toys drops the ball on that.
You know what? I'm losing. Anthony. I'm sorry to say it. I'm starting to lose hope.
with the Hot Toys. I mean, dude, I don't know. They showed that, so I will have more hope in Hot Toys if they release the N1.
Yeah.
Right, because then you'd be like, okay, they're going to put something out that's very, very large, but they don't have anything yet, right? So they're both in the same situation right now. Like, you know, or the opposite is true. If they put out the Starfighter, then we know that they would likely do the N1. But because they keep showing this N1 over and over, we're led to believe that's coming. So if it does come out, then I could see them doing the Jedi Starfighter. But I don't know, honestly. Honestly, don't know if they're willing to do it.
The Jedi Starfighter, I mean, how long ago was that when they first showed that? I think that's dead underwater.
2016, 2017?
Yeah. I don't think that's coming. I mean, I think, and with I think the 12 skill 1989 Batwing has more chance and viability than any of the other two, if I know Hot Toys.
Yeah.
But please remember that they haven't done any new large vehicles since the Tumbler, right? The only things they've done after the Tumbler are reissues of the 1989 Batmobile, the DeLorean, for which they already had the models and the tooling and all that sort of thing, and the Tumbler. There's nothing new after that. And when was the Tumbler? And that's a small vehicle, by the way.
Yeah. That you're right. That was the last. Was that the last vehicle? Yeah. Then it was the Bat. They did the Bat, and that was a 12 scale, right?
Yeah. So nothing. Yeah. So let's see if I'm Googling that. Can I see anything about the date when they first introduced this?
Hoss Hometown Heroes, thank you for the $2 bomb. He said, you're saying one way or the other, we will get an N1.
I'd say I've been asked dozens of vehicles to make dozens of vehicles today. I would say the N1 is something I would really love to do. That's what I say. After the Jedi Starfighter, and maybe even after trying something like this cockpit. But if they don't make it, I would be very interested to do it.
Well, there's hope. There's a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent chance that somebody's going to do it.
Oh, Bob Dylan, my guy. He said Hot Toys is dropping the N1 right after the 22 Batmobile, right after the 89
cockpit. The 1966.
It might, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
We will see.
Like I said, I hope they do, because I'm a collector, and like we said before, there's plenty of room in the market. So if they do, fine. Still plenty of left for me. I hope they do.
Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, this has been great. This has been amazing. Yeah. Joost, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, you shared more than what I even anticipated. This has been an amazing birthday present, guys. We got
you're very welcome.
Thank you so much. With 157 of you guys out here watching this today, thank you all so much. Also want to give a big shout out to my brother Anthony for actually, putting this together, joining this together. I know you guys already have a rapport, so I just thought this was just a natural thing for all three of us to come together.
Of course.
This is just amazing, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. But before we go, do Anthony or Joost, you guys got anything you guys want to plug or anything you guys want to talk about before we roll?
Well, Yo's been plugging for 2 hours.
I'm trying to pull more out of him to see what else we can put.
Yeah. I got nothing to hide, so I'm glad to share everything. All I want to warn people about is the end of this month. There's going to be a lot closing. So, the 2022 is definitely completely closing. The Snowspeeder is closing. So if you're on the fence for that, don't wait. And yeah, get on the wait list for the 1966 while you still can, with the June batch and the extra units I have. And for the rest, we're here for you guys. So trust us that we always want to do the best we can, and if you support us like everybody has been doing, we'll keep doing what we're doing. So thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely. And we do got one from DJ N for the $5 bomb. He said, "Hey guys, hey Yost, let's see if BVS Batwing gains interest after the Snyderverse finishes. Also, the 1989 Bat Computer, only after BVS Bat Computer. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of felt with the prototype that Hot Toys showed, we might actually get the 1989 Bat Computer from them. I don't know why, but maybe. So let's see how that goes.
It's kind of weird because I was thinking, like, have we ever got like diorama pieces or like? I guess we have. Like, I think they did. What was the last one they did? They did the Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio. They had the drones. They had a little set like that they offered. Yeah. So I'm guessing that they would maybe offer that Bat Computer, or maybe it'd be like a Hong Kong only type of thing. It just kind of was weird that they just, that they didn't bundle that together with the Batman or something, like an Ultimate Edition or something. I don't know. That's weird.
Could be. Yeah.
Could also be they did the market.
Yeah.
Right. Like, is the interest there enough to, like you said, are people going to buy it?
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. And keep in mind, like I said, they need much higher numbers to make it viable. So maybe they're testing the waters, and who knows? It could be cool, right? They did. I mean, would you count that hanging half torso Iron Man as a diorama? It's smaller, cheaper.
Kinda, yeah.
So just true. Fingers crossed. As a collector, I hope they do. I'd get one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just want to give a shout out to Picosta, Pop Culture's Living Room. Yo, what up with you, brother? Good.
Hey, man.
Sorry, Anthony.
No, you're good. You're good. No, it's been good, dude. Yeah. I'm going to have a show later tonight, too. I think at like 8:00 Eastern.
Cool.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
I'll be asleep, but
you'll be asleep. Otherwise, more of the. We're just going to riff on some figures and whatnots tonight, so that'll be fun,
cool.
though.
Very cool.
Awesome. So, sounds good. Guys, thank you all so much for being here. Guys, thank you to this wonderful panel here. Yost, once again, this has been a pleasure and just
my honor.
Birthday gift and just awesome. And Anthony, you already know what it is, brother. You know, we family at this point. So
of course, brother. Of course.
So definitely. And everybody out there, guys, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. I know I wasn't able to get everybody's super chat on the screen, but we're dealing with like 150 people. It's like, but definitely. Guys, thank you all so much. Like Anthony says, he has a stream tonight. Yost has a lot of stuff coming, so definitely check all his stuff out. Definitely, and what I got going on, I guess we'll be doing best of the best on Thursday. We got some stuff coming up, some stuff to talk about. Shang-Chi and all that released by Hot Toys yesterday, so I'm hoping that we'll get some more releases and drops from them. So we'll see how that goes. And before we leave, I did see this one super chat from Dirk Diggler Stunt Double. Said, would you make a bat bust to fit the Batmobile for those who don't want the Batman figure to be in the Batmobile? That's a good question.
Yeah. And I've actually given that some thought because the interesting thing might be to make it so that it might also fit in the Batwing, and then because the thing that triggered it actually was somebody in my group today said that that they made the smaller ears on the Bat cowl for whenever he sat in the car because the original ears didn't fit in the original car. So it might be interesting to look into that, especially now that we're talking to Warner Brothers about those figures. So I would say that's a definite maybe. There's so many variables with Michael Keaton's head sculpt and Warner Brothers approval for this, but a sitting Batman figure for the Hot Toys vehicle, our vehicle, and our Batwing with shorter ears, I think that could be a viable product. I think that's a good idea.
I think a lot of people would buy that. Or if that was like another option that like later on down the line, like here's a you could buy it separately, but also here's a version to have, a cockpit, figure to go in there. I think, a lot of people would buy that. That makes that's awesome. I wasn't even thinking about that. Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah, because I was just looking at when I bought out this Batmobile, I was looking at my copy of the '89 Hot Toys Batman, and I mean, like right in it's funny saying it, but right in the crotch area, you can see where I was bending it, and it was like a little bit of like peeling going on, and you really can't see it much because the suit is already black, but it is there for me to know because I had to shove them in there. So yeah, but that's great. Yeah. I'm with you, Jose. Jose's like, take my money.
It's definitely it's ruminating in my brain, so that's good. Anyway,
absolutely. Here it is, the last super chat before we go. We got SJC 360. Thank you for the $2 bomb. So can we get final picks? Final picks for the 2022. I don't think they're ready yet, right?
Well. Can we do near final? I can show you a couple of things. Hang on. I'm going to make a video about this, by the way, for YouTube and the Facebook groups later this week. Right after I finish all the other stuff I need to do.
Right.
I got a couple of shots here to share. So, so let's just keep it at that. So, there we go. Okay, so what you're looking at here is actually the first pictures of the early production sample. So this is as final as it gets, really. Here we go. So we did a little bit of repaint to get the metal. So look, you're looking at the clean version here. So to get the metal on the bumper here and the metal here darker, to get the metal here a little bit darker. In this light, you can see it better. So you can still see a little bit of weathering here, and you see still a little bit of that. The metal is like very, very dark gray versus the black, the matte black that is the rest of the vehicle. But I'm really happy with how that looks. So this is the entire clean version you're looking at.
Wow.
Dark rims. This is now black, that step on the clean version. This is very, very dark metal gray. This is very dark metal gray with some light brushing. This is the passenger side interior with some extra detailing that we added now to the final version. And then this is the weathered version, actual production version. Where you see
the weathered version.
Yeah, me too. So this is final version weathered. This is final version clean to help you guys. So people ask, is there weathering on the clean version? Well, would you call this weathering? Technically, yeah. There's a little bit of paint chipping here, and there's a little bit of
Give it that used real world feel.
Yeah, but it's quite clean. As you can see, it's quite clean. There's a little bit of stuff going on here, but it's quite clean. And this is the weathered version. So that's final.
That looks good. It's sexy. God damn. Damn, it looks good. Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, wow. Once again, Joost, thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much out there. This is, we could do that. We could do this all day and talk about this.
2 hours just flew by, right?
It really did. But guys, thank you all so much for being here. And we'll see you soon. We'll see you next. My wife's gonna kill me. It's gonna be kicked out the house, but I will make it work. We'll make it work. Try to hang up stuff in the cardboard box, but we'll make it work. But guys, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.